Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So today was the official day one for the trial against Tracey Nix, otherwise known as Forgetful Grandma. I'm going to play, this is Court TV, they just put together the opening statements, so I'm going to go through that. And so if you didn't watch day one, I will also go through some of the highlights, and that sounds weird to even say, some of the key points, rather, I guess, from day one. I missed a bit at the end. I did not get through the entire day, but I did listen to a good majority of the testimony, and I gotta say, the defenses, obviously they haven't presented their case. We're on the state, obviously day one, but their opening statement I didn't really think it was anything at all, but you guys, of course, let me know what you think.
November 1st, 2022, 7-month-old Uriel Schock died alone and forgotten, trapped in a hot car. How did this happen? How did this tragedy happen? How did this 7-month-old baby girl come to be where she was? Her grandmother, the defendant, Tracey Nix. To understand how all this happened, let's go back to that day, November 1st, 2022. Tracey Nix that day, the defendant, went to a prayer meeting with some friends. Brenda Knight, Barbara Knight, Judy Terrell. They had a meeting. During that meeting, it was discussed that we should go to lunch. Let's go to Beef O'Brady's. Okay. The defendant didn't go there right away. You see, she has a daughter, Kayla Nix. Kayla Nix also has a daughter, Uriel Schock, also known as Yuri. That day, Kayla had a hair appointment. And with any 7-month-old, she needed someone to babysit so she could go get that done. So she called her mother. Who else would you call, right? A good babysitter that you can leave her with. So that's what Kayla did. And it was agreed that the defendant would come to Kayla and her husband Drew Schock's business and pick up little Yuri. And then take care of her for most of the day till the end of the day, around 5 o'clock after the business closed. And that would be that. So the defendant got in her vehicle. She leaves that prayer meeting. She drives to Kayla's business. She picks up 7-month-old little Yuri. She gets a car seat, puts it in the back of her vehicle. She gets a diaper bag because she's going to be taking care of a 7-month-old. She needs all the supplies. She needs diapers, she needs wipes, she needs food, she needs extra clothing. So she gets all that, puts it in her vehicle. Brenda Knight, Gail, who's also she's known as, it can be confusing sometimes, but we heard her called Gail. She was with her at that time. And she saw her get all this stuff. They then proceeded to Beef O'Brady's. Now, this is around a little after the 12 o'clock hour or so. They get there. They eat lunch there. It's the defendant, Gail, Brenda, and Judy. They eat their lunch. The defendant, and Yuri's there with the defendant. She's taking care of her. She's being attentive towards her. She brings the diaper bag in, sets it down, does everything that's expected of a good babysitter. Looks out for Yuri that entire meal. Is attentive to her, holds her, bounces her on her knee, feeds her, takes a straw, puts it in the water, puts it in little Yuri's mouth. Everything a good babysitter should do. That's what she did. That's what you're going to see. Now, when did they leave? Well, you're going to hear from all the ladies that were with the defendant that day that Gail had a young grandson who was 5 years old. And she was pretty insistent to make sure they all knew, I got to go pick him up at 1:50. So they all know. We left probably around 1:40. Between 1:40 and 1:50 because Gail had to get there. She was insistent. They leave Beef. The defendant grabs Yuri, grabs a diaper bag, goes to the car, opens the door, puts her in the back seat, puts her in the car seat, like a good babysitter should, closes the door, gets in the vehicle, drives straight home. About a 10-minute drive. She gets home. She parks her car by the house, gets out of the vehicle, closes the door, goes in the house. Never grabs Yuri. Yuri's still in the back seat, waiting, sleeping. Whatever it may be, she's back there. Grandma doesn't get her. She goes in the house, plays with her dog, practices piano. While she's playing with her dog, time passes. And Yuri's suffering. While she's playing the piano, time's passing. And Yuri's alone in that vehicle. She's also on her mind, what's her primary focus, is that she's got another grandchild that she's supposed to spend time with that day, and she's focused on that. She's messaging back and forth with the mom, Rebecca Tucker. She's focused on all these other things. And while she's focused on that, time passes, and Yuri suffers. Hours go by. Hours. You're going to hear that Nix is there. That's Kayla's dad. And he's out there doing things that dads do, and nowadays moms do, but mowing the lawn, taking care of the property. And their property, they have a house proper, then they have a garage, barn. It's a large structure towards the back, and that's where he is. And the defendant thinks, oh, I should bring him some tea. So she grabs for herself, for him, gets into the vehicle where little Yuri has been this entire time. And now we're closer to the 5 o'clock hour. The entire time. And drives to the back of the property, next to that barn, or next to the barn/garage. And she's still there. And she's still not thinking. Suddenly, oh my God, she realizes it. Hours later, she remembers, oh, I have this 7-month-old that I'm responsible for that's completely dependent on me. She obviously lets Nay know. From there on out, it's a mad rush. He grabs her out of the vehicle, puts her on the ground, starts doing CPR. 911's called. By that time, sometime in this period when Yuri's being taken from the vehicle, put on the ground, that's when Rebecca Tucker gets there with the grandson that the defendant was so focused on. She calls 911. And you can hear it in her voice, the desperation. And all she can think about, Rebecca Tucker, is I need to get my son away from this. This isn't good. And you can hear her tell the 911 operator that it's like, my mother will call you, my mother will call you. And meanwhile, May is frantically trying to do CPR to this little 7-month-old. EMTs arrive to the scene, and they take over, and they do their best. They do what they can. But, unfortunately, they noticed it's too late. It's too late. They had to stop life-saving measures at the scene because they noticed she was already showing signs of rigor and lividity, and they'll explain what that is, but clear signs she ain't coming back. So they stopped. She was brought to the hospital anyway because the scene is so emotional. There are people there that are obviously upset. The defendant is upset. Her husband's upset. Everyone there is upset. This is an upsetting event for everyone involved. So it was best just to bring her to the hospital. And from there, after she was brought to the hospital, there's no treatment. She's already gone. They brought her to the morgue. They brought her to the medical examiner. Members of the jury, that's what we're looking at here. Those are the events. That's how we got here. Let's talk about a few things that you're going to see and hear from other than what I've already talked about. I said she was brought to the morgue. She was brought to the medical examiner's office. That's Dr. Variable, and she performed what's called an autopsy. And she, based on her examination, when she viewed it, Uri died of hyperthermia. I don't think you need to be a doctor to understand that. Hypothermia is freezing. Hyperthermia, basically she overheated to death. That's what you're going to hear. And all the things that I talked about that the defendant was doing, you're going to hear that from her own mouth. She gave a statement. You're going to see and hear it. You're going to see a few other pieces of evidence, photos, things of that nature. You're going to see the body cam footage of when the detective showed up. And you're going to hear again from the defendant at that time. Members of the jury, at the end of this case, we're going to do what's called closing arguments. And in our system, you are given instructions on the law at the end of the case because we want you to focus on the facts. And that's what I would ask you to do. I know during jury selection, there was some talk of it's not about the act, it's not about the result. I disagree. Members of the jury, we are here today and for the next few days not to determine whether or not Tracey Nix is a good person. We want to focus on her actions, inactions, and the results of those actions. And if you do that, and you focus on those facts as we go through here today, you're going to come to several conclusions. You're going to come to the conclusion that this was a tragedy, that this was negligence. But when you hear the law, you're going to determine that negligence was a crime. And I'm going to ask you that you find her guilty of the crime of aggravated manslaughter of 7-month-old Uri. Thank you.
That was the prosecution's opening statement. I thought it was very, very good, very visual. And I don't know this prosecutor, Timothy Coleman. I've never heard him do a case before, but I think he did a good job. But now we're on to the defense's opening statement.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I intend to tell you our view of the case here. And first of all, tell you that you do focus on the actions of the defendant. Whether you hurt somebody's fingernail or whether you kill somebody, it's the actions of the defendant that the judge will tell you about in the jury instructions. No one's going to tell you this wasn't a horrible, horrible situation. What happened was a family tragedy. But again, it was a tragedy that does not amount to a crime under Florida law. If you will listen to the evidence that is on or the jury instructions that he will read you at the end of this case. Facts are really simple. They're not really in dispute. I don't think you're going to hear the defense question too many witnesses about too many things. Again, it's not in dispute. I think the state will probably introduce, 3 videos, which we would introduce if they didn't, which will show you what I'm talking about, which will prove what I'm telling you, which will create a reasonable doubt in your mind. Tracey Nix is a loving mother, grandmother, retired school teacher of 39 years, principal for 17 years, good member of her church for 39 years, member of the choir, Sunday school teacher, and attends not prayer meeting, as they said, but Bible study once a week. They have a group. And you say, well, why am I bringing that up? That's because that's where Tracey Nix was headed that morning, was to Bible study with her group that meets every, I believe it's Tuesday morning. After she was leaving she was either getting ready to go or had left, her daughter Kayla said, hey, can you keep the baby today? I've got a hair appointment. Tracey had the child 4 days the week before. She normally kept the child at least 1 or 2 days a week, quite a period of time. Tracey, trying to do a favor for her daughter, agrees to keep this child so that her daughter can go to the hair appointment. Tracey attends this Bible study. She then goes, she picks the child up, Uri, we'll call her Uri, picks Uri up, goes to Beef O'Brady's with lunch with the ladies, some of the ladies she had Bible study with. You can see, I think that State will introduce the video showing the attention that was given to Uri by Tracey Nix, how she was acting toward her, and you will see how much she loved and cared for this child. After Beef O'Brady's, Tracey took the child home. I think it's about an 11-minute drive. They were doing roofing at her house that day. She couldn't park in the garage. I think you'll hear her statement. She doesn't remember where she parked, but she parked under a tree because she couldn't park in the garage. So she was distracted by that. The dog was in the way. She was distracted by the dog. She got out. She forgot the child. She forgot the child in the car. There's no doubt about that. She went in the house. She spent some time. She was focused. She was supposed to take her grandson by another daughter out to go really Christmas shopping and then take him out to eat. She was concerned about that. She gets in the car. She drives out to the barn. She's talking to her husband, and she realizes what's happened. She forgot. There's no aggravating factors here that make this culpable negligence as opposed to simple negligence, forgetting something. We all do that. You will see her reaction. You will see how she feels when this happens. And completely devastated, completely. And I won't discuss it now because I think pictures and videos are worth thousands of words. I'll let you decide how she felt, how this amount occurred, what she did, what she said, and how she felt. So this offense position is this was negligence. It was simple negligence. It was an accident. Under Florida law, it does not amount to culpable negligence. If you will follow the jury instructions, in this case, read the instructions on culpable negligence. I think you'll be able to take them back in the jury room with you. You will see what I'm saying. As horrible as this tragedy is, it's not culpable negligence. Thank you.
We all forget things. Gee, you usually don't forget a baby, a child, 7-month-old that you just left the restaurant with, less than 15 minutes ago. You get home and you leave your granddaughter in the hot car. Yes, maybe it's an accident. Obviously, some folks think she's got something else going on, but I choose to believe that she's got something going on in her head. But simple fact is, she didn't forget, I'm sure, her cell phone. She didn't forget her car keys. I'm sure she took her purse with her when she walked inside the home. And she went and played with her dog and played the piano for a long time. And not any moment during that time until she decided to go outside a while later to bring her husband something cold to drink did she realize, when she got in the car and she drove it toward the back where her husband was, that, oh crap, the baby's in the car. And they're stating that she doesn't have dementia. I have to look further into that. She has been evaluated. She's been in a mental institution. But the simple fact is, I think it's involuntary. I think she did it by accident, yes, but you don't forget a little baby in the car. You just don't. All right, and here is the 911 call that was made, and this was actually made by Kayla's sister, which is the second daughter of Grandma Tracey Nix.
911, where is your emergency? 1478 Caven Road. What's happening at 1478 Caven Road? Someone with my niece in the car. I don't know. I just pulled up, but we need EMS, like, immediately. Please. All right. Your niece was left in the car? Is she breathing? I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I can't even fathom this right now. My niece needs to... Can you get to her so we can answer some questions? No, I don't know what's going on. I can't. My mom is I can't. I literally can't. I have no idea. Talk to your dad if he's with your niece. My dad, it has her right now. My dad has her. Oh, Lord. How old is your niece? Oh, my God. This is really, really, really bad. Oh, no. Oh, ma'am. Oh, yep. My name is Rebecca Tucker. My parents are named Tracey Nix. Okay. Ma'am, how old is your niece? I don't know. She's only a couple months old. Okay. I need you to be with her because I need to know if she's breathing. I need to know now. It doesn't seem like it. Okay, so it doesn't seem like she's breathing. No. Do you know how long she was left in the vehicle? I have no idea. I just pulled up. Please. Okay, I have help on the way, but I'm going to stay on the phone with you while you're there. Oh, Lord. Okay, I have my 12-year-old son. Okay, how old is your niece? Is it going to be the baby? 8 months old. Okay. Please, and I'm going to take you home. I can't be here for this. Okay, I understand. This is Kayla's the youngest one? Yes. Okay, I need to talk to somebody because I want to do CPR on her. My dad's doing it right now. Okay, so the CPR is in progress? Are you doing CPR? Oh my God, she's dead. Okay, how does she look? Her eyes are open. She's not moving or breathing. Eyes are open, not moving or breathing? My son's home. That's correct. Hey, are you almost done, baby? No. Oh my goodness. This is. I'm sorry. I keep touching. I can't. Okay. Come on, honey. Finish up, please. Let's go. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay. I know that you're wanting to leave. Is there any way I can talk to somebody that's there? Is Tracey there? I don't know where she's gone to. I don't know where she is. I don't know. Okay. Does your dad know how to do CPR on an infant? Yes, he does. Dad, you're doing it, right? Yes, he's doing it. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I know you just got there. Is there any way that somebody can answer how long she's been like this? Mom! I don't know where she's at. How long was she in the car? A while. She was in the car. Took her to work with you. Okay. All right, ma'am. Okay, so she took her to lunch with her, and then whenever she got back, she was just left in the car? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I know y'all want me to say I have to take my son home. He cannot. I can't do this with him here. So, did your mom call me? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yep. Hold on. Mom?
Hearing that 911 call, it brings tears to your eyes. Her name is Rebecca. That is Tracey Nix's other daughter. She testified today. She had come to the house basically right as this was all happening, when her mother had finally realized that Uri was in the car and her father was doing CPR, and she had her 12-year-old son, whom she was bringing to spend time with his grandmother. And I have to wonder if there was any redactions in this call that was played for the jury because of the previous accident where 16-month-old Ezra drowned behind the grandparents' home in their retention pond. This family has been through now 2 deaths of young babies, of little babies, at the hands of the daughter's mother and their grandmother. I just can't fathom how difficult this was also for Rebecca to see her niece dead on the ground. And she obviously wanted to get her son away from that because he doesn't need that. But they say that Kayla, you couldn't see it in the video, but Kayla was crying as her sister was testifying today. But it's so heartbreaking. It makes me wonder with how much this grandmother, Tracey Nix, she's putting her daughter Kayla and the rest of her family, she's putting them through hell again by not telling them if she's guilty, maybe taking a plea. I don't know if they offered her one. I'm not aware of if they have or haven't. But it kind of seems selfish to me that she's putting them through this. Let me know what you guys think about that one. But I'm going to go through some of the other testimony and the timelines and stuff like that in the next video. But I wanted to get the opening statements out in the 911 call. And then, of course, we'll go through Grandma's reaction to everything once law enforcement got there. Alright guys, I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.